So good morning class. This is about the grade 11 basic calculus week 5. It's all about the Riemann sum and partition points. So we have to find the step size, change in x, and the partition points of sub-intervals. That is our learning target. So alam natin previously yung Riemann sum that we have this curve and then we can subdivide that one into 8. And then we have this curve either that is in the highest rectangle, dito siya sa right, ito ang tinatawag na right part, yung endpoints is nasa right kasi nasa end, or it could be nasa middle, yung kanina naman is nasa left. So this one is nasa left ang kanyang endpoint. So of the left we have the right and we have the average or in the middle. So, as n goes to positive infinity, ito yung ating ginagawa to find the area of the figure below the curve above the x-axis. So, the Riemann sum of f refers to the combined area of rectangles bounded by the partition points of the interval AB. So, meron tayong A at saka B, yung simula at saka dulo. The x-axis, yung x natin, kasi itong AB ay makikita sa x-axis. And the function y equals f of x. Yung y equals f of x, yung hangganan kung saan ang ending or endpoints ng ating rectangle. Notice that as the number of rectangles increases, the Riemann sum approximation of the exact area of R becomes better and better, and it becomes close to the original. So for example, we have to divide the interval AB equally into n sub-intervals. Compute step size, change in x, the length of each sub-interval. So alam natin ang change in x or ang length ng ating rectangle ay pareho. That is b minus a over n. Yung n is ang desired. So for example, if n equals 1, and that means x sub o. So for example, if wala pang b, so galing dito sa a. So x sub o equals a. That means simula. Yung hangganan is x sub n is b. So, kung mag-change ng x tayo, yung x sub 1 natin, yung first rectangle, is yung length ng a, dadagdagan ng change in x. Kung ano ang length, that is a plus change in x. Yung x sub 2, the second rectangle, is yung a plus 2 of change in x. Nga nung 2 times change in x man? Kasi, ang change in x plus another change in x, that is 2 change in x. Ang third rectangle, ito yun, a plus 2 change in x, and x to the sub n minus 1 is a plus yung n minus 1 times change in x. Yung change in x is the same, and if this is 3, this is 3. If that is n minus 1, that is n minus 1. If that is 2, that is also 2. If that is 1, that is 1. And the last is b. So find the step size, change in x, and the partition points needed to divide given interval 1 to 3. So ang a natin ay 1, ang b natin ay 3, ang n natin ay 6. So kung n natin is 1, x sub 1, therefore ang 1, x sub o, ang x sub 6 ay 3. Okay? Ang n is, this is x sub 6. So, change in x is 3 minus 1 over 2, that is 2 over 6, that is 1/3 ang ating change in x. So, that means ang ating 1 plus 1/3 plus 1, ang ating x sub 2 ay 1 plus 2 times 1/3, and then x sub 3 is 1 plus 3 times 1/3. X sub 4 is 1 plus 4 times 1/3. 1 plus 5 times 1/3, 1 plus 6 times 1/3. Ito yung ating ilalagay dito. And then the value 1, of course, 1 plus 1/3 is 3 times 1 plus 1, that is 4 over 3. And then 2 over 3 plus 1, that is 3 plus 2 over 3, that is 5 over 3. And we have here 1 plus 2 times 3 plus 1 plus 3 times 1/3, that is 2. And then 1 plus 4 times 1/3, that is 4 over 3 plus 1, that is 3 times 1 plus 4 over 3 is 7/3. 3 plus 1 plus 5, that is 8 over 3. And we have 1 plus 6 of that is 1 plus 2, that is 3. So that is how to find the side step. Your activity is to be answered in your worksheet. Last number 1 is to answer. Find the step size, change in x, and the partition points needed to divide given into interval the given number of sub-intervals. So the a is 2, the b is 6, and the n is 4. So there are 4 sub-intervals. You have to prepare 6, that means from x sub o to x sub n, where x sub o is 2 and the x sub n is 6. Then our change in x, alam natin ang change in x is b minus a over n. So ang b natin ay 6 minus 2 over n is 4. That is 4 over 4, that is 1. So ang ating change in x is 1. Madali lang po. And then follow yung step kanina. Same with number hanggang number 5. Okay, that's all for last number 1.